Welcome back to Shit Women Talk About. Today we're turning up the heat. We're diving into female pleasure, sexual empowerment, and why authenticity is key in the bedroom, and just in relationships in general. And we did talk about authenticity in an earlier episode, so go listen to that if you haven't. But we're talking about the spicy side of that. But let's first catch up. What's going on in your world, Chris?
Um, a lot going on in my world. I've had kind of spiked anxiety a little and PTSD a little from all the hurricane stuff going on, even though I live in Oregon, because I'm a Hurricane Katrina survivor. And even though it was 19 years ago, meet one of us who were there, and there's still impact, almost 20 years later. And so the fear for like that happening someplace again, which we know it will because climate change.
Yeah.
But my heart, it uh, is feels for people who are in that situation. And I have some people who I love out in that area, and so yeah, that's been
It's a
a
lot.
lot going on this last week. I've been trying to write a plan and kind of work out details of what my coaching and consulting business is going to look like. So I've actually been putting pen to paper to that and thinking, okay, I think I'm working this out. I think I'm figuring some stuff out. So that's feeling good. I am loving my West Coast swing class.
Yay.
It is so cute. I Not only is it fun and exciting and engaging and gets me out of the house and doing something with my body, but I have a amazing little couple friend that joined me, a girlfriend of mine and her man who was like, "I'll do that." I'm like,
We love that for
"I
her.
love that.
We
Love
love it
that
for
for
her.
her. Love it for them." It's the three of us as friends and the two of them as a couple going to this class together and just being silly and learning something, and me getting to see the two of them interact in that kind of dynamic where, he's showing up for her and she's, it's awesome. It's
It's
really,
good to
really
see, like,
beautiful. Yeah.
it's good to see good examples. We talked about this when we caught up separately, but good examples of healthy love. And I think when you're not surrounded by those examples, it's easy to get into the mindset of like, fuck it, like Jesus Christ, like what's the point? But the
No,
point is like general connection is the point, like with
general
friendships and
connection.
yeah.
Yeah, and this woman showed up the I'll try to keep this brief. But it's so cute, I have to tell you. Oh my God, it's so cute. So this woman that I met at the first class showed up, and she said that she was learning how to West Coast swing for her partner, and that her partner was going to be away for like 10 days, and so she was going to like surprise her partner that she was doing this.
That's so
I'm
cute.
like, and so this week, second week, when they showed up and she brings her partner with her. Oh my God, the cutest, like, middle-aged lesbian couple that you could imagine. Oh my God, they're a
And
freaking
we know that lesbian couples, here's a stat for
ah,
everybody. We know that lesbian couples out of anyone have the most orgasms. So
most times.
a good
Yeah.
way to show up is this little story.
So I got to meet her partner, who they both walked in together, and everybody was like, "Oh my God, that's the partner that she's doing this for." And it was just romantic and sweet, and the partner was really sweet, and they danced together, and it just like warmed my heart.
I love
Like,
it.
oh,
I love that
people
you're loving those.
growing up. So yeah, so that class is given to me in all kinds of ways. I had a second little, meet and greet with the park guy. It was nice, fun, and I'm so open to whatever possibilities come in life. And I've had, a couple of people say, "Well, was it a date?" I'm like, I don't even know how to define that. It was just me meeting another human
Mhm.
and having deep conversations about our lives and who we are. And at 54, I am just not putting people in boxes. And I don't have to, which is a nice thing about being 54.
Yeah. I think
Um,
for me, like my autism needs a little bit more clarity. Like when I meet people in real life,
mhm.
like hot chocolate guy, I'm like, oh, okay, so are we going on a date? And I think his mindset is like similar to yours of like, I don't know, let's just see what it's like it was like kind of more of a pre-date date, I guess. But for me, like I don't know what I guess mask to wear. Like am I trying to be flirty? Am I trying to like it's a little confusing to me, but I love it's like when that actually isn't a pressure, I'm just the best. Like so I'm trying to get into that mindset of like it doesn't matter, but it's the flirting. Like I don't know how to flirt, so people can just see me as I move into friend zone. Like I move into friend zone if I don't have like. So I think I need to adopt the flirt with everybody. Like I have friends who like flirt with everybody. I need to adopt that kind of style
Yeah.
of like interacting in the world. But I need clarity. I need
Yeah,
clarity.
I have a flirt problem. I flirt with everybody.
You
I
do.
know
You
I
do.
do. Well, yeah, you do.
Um. Yeah.
Yeah, so so that's a good thing. That's a good thing for me. And the what is this leads me to just about every single friend that I have right now with this last week has sent me something about how over dating apps they are.
Yeah. We're
They
over it.
I cannot tell you. I have like 20 messages of gifts of girls, you and I exchanged some because I was like, this is what my friends are sending me. And then,
Hmm.
we're talking about it. And I think it's okay.
Yeah, it's
You
okay.
know,
We
uh,
need to learn how to connect again, especially after the pandemic. I feel like,
yeah.
and we've talked about this. Well, we won't go down the road, but it's good that people are getting out there and going to these groups. Like we should be friends and
Yeah, so
meetups
one
and
of the
stuff.
friends that basically said, "Oh my God, you're not still on the apps? Are you on the app?" I was like, "Oh God, girl, no." Um, and so she was like, and I said, "Well, it was fun. I went to this meetup and talked to people, and didn't even have any intention of like meeting anybody other than just like some friends, and it was super fun and free and easy. And, so like I wanted to put out there, the same friend was like, well, how do you meet these people for these meetups? I was like, oh, it's a app called Meetup.
But there are little groups. So we did talk about that last time. There are little
Mhm.
groups.
Yeah.
So encouraging people to step out of their comfort zone and find little things like this, whether it's like swing or meetups or whatever.
Mhm. Yeah.
I have been less social. I think like when I do a lot of stuff, then I have to just like hermit for
Get
a
your feet
while.
in.
But this week I went to go see The Apprentice. The media group reached out to my volunteer group and gave us some free tickets. So I think it's in
Tell the
either.
people what The Apprentice is so they don't think you're watching the old show,
Oh yeah, it's a movie, and I think it's in theaters as of today,
which is what I thought.
as we're recording this. I think it's everywhere October 11th. It's about Donald Trump's like rise, like um, and it's it was like extremely unsettling. I think it was a little too long. It was there was a an essay scene like a grapey, I don't know if what we can say here,
Yeah,
scene in
great.
it with his wife, his first wife, and I didn't really think that that was going to be in there, but I'm also glad that it was like um
It's
it
triggering though when you don't expect it to just be in like right there at you.
yeah. So, I'm glad I went to see it, but I'm not really sure what most people like. For me, it was clear that this guy has always been a narcissist and that he uses people, and that like it was interesting where some of his traits now come from, like Reagan and anyway, but it was a little dysregulating. Um So I ended up going to have a beer after and ran into Resurgence guy. And um, last last week he like flirted with my best friend. And I was like, that's gonna be a no for me.
Oh,
And so he apologized in person. He was like, I was super drunk and like I don't even like we're still not sure if it was flirting to be fair, but whatever. I'm like, that's just gonna be a no.
so this
Um,
is what does your gut tell you?
it tells me what it always has is that he's not someone that I want to pursue romantically or
Okay.
whatever, but it's just I think it's something that I have to fully let go because for me, like it's the potential conversation of like there's potential for really good sex there. But in reality, it's like I'm not in a season to go on sale. Like that's,
Thank you.
I'm not in a season to go on
Thank
sale.
you.
So, um, yeah, I'm gonna vote today. So I've got my little buttons on. I'm gonna actually go to the post office and print my ballot and fill it out and do all the stupid things that you have to do. It's like an ADHD nightmare.
That
Um,
that is an ADHD nightmare.
there's so
We
many tasks, but it's like all my friends. It's like if you don't vote, that's LOL. Like I spend 50 hours a week on getting out the vote. If my vote doesn't get in on time, I'm just going to be no. I also
so
went on a non-date.
we talked just a little bit about the fact that like that's a real challenge with ADHD is knowing that you have every intention of doing things. Your goal is to do something, and then you literally like you could not make it happen.
Yeah, but I'm gonna
And
make it happen today.
you know,
Make it happen.
so
But that's
I was
something
one of
like larger accommodation, right? Like larger accommodation, it's like we should have universal voting laws. It should be easy to vote. There shouldn't be so many intentional blockers. For Texas, they allow email ballot back for military and active service, in war zone, and it's
yeah.
like it should just be
It
simple
should
for
be
everyone.
easier. It should be simple to vote. We should not be having conversations like those.
Right.
So,
But
yes.
yeah. And then I guess lastly, I did go on a non-date with a hot chocolate guy, and it was interesting. It's interesting. Had a good little makeout sesh. Gave him some quizzes. He doesn't seem to really know exactly what he wants. And I'm not dating for love right now. I'm not dating. We've talked about that. But as people come into my life, I'm
So I want you
open.
to I want you to point out the fact that you gave him some little quizzes.
I gave him some quizzes. I gave him
And
some
what
quizzes.
did you do with them?
Well, when we were together, he took one of them in front of me and we chatted about it. So this
Right
is
there.
someone like I literally just met. So when I
Yeah.
say that I incorporate this stuff into my life, I mean it. Like
Yeah.
I do it with my girlfriends that I just met. I think it's a fun activity. So he took the BDSM test and he was super like, I'm not kinky. I'm like, well, what does kink mean to you? Like I feel like people have this like idea of kink and their face goes all like ew. And I find that to be hilarious. And we won't talk about Love is Blind, but there's something there for later when we check in about that I wrote down in my notes. But um, anyway, he took the test. And then I said, well, I'm going to send you other tests. And so I sent him other tests and we'll see. If he takes them, that's green. That's a green flag. If he doesn't,
Then you'll know.
then I'll know. Because it's
Those are
important
the
to
kind of things that
me.
I kind of want to point out that we do on a regular basis that
Yeah.
I find that we say them and we do them because we just think that we're normal between the two of us. But then our
Mhm.
friends go, oh, I wouldn't have thought about that.
Yeah. I mean, and
So
also like, regardless of what it is, like, it's important to me. So
yeah.
people, like, I follow OMGSKR, Sarah Reynolds on Instagram. And like when she went on a first date with her now fiance,
Mhm.
she's hilarious. If you don't follow her, she's so funny. She's like, and if you're dating, well, now she's transitioning in a different life, but she makes things bearable because she's hilarious. But when she went on a first date or I think she met him on a plane and she mentioned that she was like a writer and blah, blah, blah. He immediately got like a subscription to be able to read her stuff.
Mhm.
And now they're getting married in a couple weeks. And I love that. It's like when someone wants to be in your life, they're going to be encouraged and excited about the things that you're excited about, if they're a right fit. Right.
Yeah. This is
So it
the
doesn't matter
first
what it is.
That's
Yeah.
right. It doesn't matter what it is. this is a recurring theme for us. Is
Yeah.
if you say you're interested in somebody and somebody goes, "Oh, I heard that.
Yeah.
I heard that. I'm gonna figure out some stuff there because, like I'm interested in learning more about this person. I'm gonna chase this person. I'm gonna find out what they like. I'm gonna like they're the prize."
Yeah.
Because we do that in our life. We
We do
we
that.
immediately we meet somebody at a damn bar, and we're immediately trying to find out like who are they? Tell me
Hmm.
more stories about yourself.
What
Talk to
lights
me.
you up? What lights
Yeah,
you
what
up?
lights
So,
you up? You know,
um, all right, let's so shared what's going on in our world. We both watched the latest season of Sex Education and absolutely loved it. I love that show. Or no, Sex Education. No, Heartstopper. Sex
Heartstopper,
Education isn't, yeah, Heartstopper.
Heartstopper.
I love that show. It's so cute. Like,
So cute.
also, like,
Oh,
I definitely have a crush on like the I'm terrible with names, even though I've
I'm
just
terrible with names.
watched it. Um,
Which,
the bi one that's in the like the
oh yeah, oh yeah, he's totally your type.
he's
Yes,
so my type. I have two types, right? He's definitely like the
he's the
clean shaven
boyfriend.
baby face
He's the
boyfriend.
boyfriend. He's
Yeah.
the tall boyfriend,
Yeah,
right?
he's just
See what we're talking
so
about?
adorable and emotionally like, I just love them. I love their dynamic. So if you don't watch that show, you should.
And
Heartstopper.
the main character guy with the curly black hair,
Hmm.
he's way more my type.
Yeah, yeah. So we both got to check. I think it's a cute show. Also, just if you haven't watched Nobody Wants This yet, like go
Which
watch it.
tells you so much about my past love life.
Yeah. And then we are watching the latest season of Love Is Blind, and we're writing notes. We're not talking about it until it's over,
Except
and then we'll.
to share stuff on her TikTok, and
I didn't.
she's like she's not gonna see.
I didn't share any of my actual thoughts. I just felt like,
I was
anyway,
like,
yeah.
I was literally watching your TikTok going, why you're literally saying this is what I'm doing with my bestie and we're gonna talk about it on our podcast. Hope she didn't see this.
Just don't watch it. I should be like, if you're Chris Adam, just don't watch anymore. How about that? Well, I'm like, I'll forget. Like I took notes for some other thing, and I'll never record my thoughts. I'm like very in the moment. If anybody's on my TikTok, they know it's not niche, it's not coordinated. It's just random ass. Like she's crazy.
No, but it's really good though because I have like 15,000 Google Docs because I literally started a Google Doc while watching Love is Blind. And then a couple of episodes in, texted Jennifer and said, "Ooh, let's do this together." And then
Mhm.
Jennifer immediately goes to a TikTok. So now we're covered. We're full circle, baby.
We're
We're
good. All right. Should we get into today's topic?
yes.
All right. So,
By the way,
huh?
you're cracking me up today.
I mean, we're both on it's a good energy day, I think, for us. So, um,
Oh, were you about to say we're both on our antidepressants?
yeah, yeah. We're both on our happy pills. I took my ADHD meds today too, because I'm gonna vote. I'm gonna vote. I'm gonna be very productive today. Start off the day. I'm dressed. I've got makeup on. I'm ready for my voting booth selfie.
Oh,
Even though it's
I
at my
need
post office.
all support for
Yeah,
your voting.
I need accountability. You text me in
You
2 hours,
have to tell
bitch.
me
Did
that
you
you left
vote?
the house and that you've completed the task.
Yeah, bitch. Did you vote? Okay, so let's talk about orgasms and stuff.
Okay.
So we
Favorite
like
topic.
I don't. We're gonna talk about like stop faking orgasms. Like that.
Yes.
That's it's like should you fake the question is like should you fake orgasms? The answer is no, absolutely not, never.
Never.
But so many women do it. We know, so we want to kind of talk about it from a lens of like if you're starting something new, don't do it. If you're
Don't do
in
it.
something and you've been doing it for years, you've been doing it for 6 months, you've been like whatever, you can get out of this. And we want to talk a little bit about that. Don't,
So, Jenny Jans, why do you think this is such a common topic amongst our girlies? The faking the orgasm topic. And it's not only a topic amongst us, it's a topic amongst the boys. So
yeah,
we
because every
follow,
guy is like, I've make her come, like every, and I'm
right?
like, every time a man tells me that he like always, I'm like,
Nah.
Are you sure about it? I think there's just a lot of pressure. And I think men put this, like, it's the lack of understanding what actually intimacy is. Intimacy is more than just orgasms, it's
Mm-hmm.
about that emotional connection and
Yep.
vulnerability. But I think men tie it to the orgasm. And so there's a lot of pressure sometimes. It takes women a lot more to orgasm.
Yep.
Um, and
So
so
back to
men
my
are like, did you orgasm? Like, that's the question that they ask all the time. Did you come? Did you come? And
yeah.
it's like,
Okay.
there's,
So let's go back to why do we think that women have been like feeling like that they should be faking orgasms still in 2024?
the
Why do you think
patriarchy.
that's yeah, what's your opinion?
The patriarchy forces women to be
That's always the answer, isn't
it
it?
all comes down to the patriarchy every time. It's just we're expected to be what the guy needs and not to upset sometimes it's a safety issue too. Like, some women feel like, we've had experiences in the bedroom, like, you always say you're not just sleeping with the person, you're sleeping with everyone else that they've slept with. So understanding past trauma and understanding the female experience in this world is really important if men want to create a safe environment for women to actually orgasm. But I think that there's just a lot of pressure, and if I don't say I came, then he might get upset. It might impact the rest of our sex life. It might create erectile dysfunction because he's in his head. Like, there are so many things attached to this that, like, women, we don't need to take that on. Like, that's not our problem. If you tell a man that he didn't make you come and he's not excited to figure out how to make you come, um, for me, that's a red flag. But there's a lot of defensiveness there. So I think you can approach it with compassion and excitement to create an exploring mindset within your relationship of, like, read the book, like, she comes first. Have your partner read the book, she comes first. Like, i
So,
I like a
so,
4-to-1 ratio for female orgasms. It's easier for
so
a woman to orgasm.
before we keep going, let me jump in
Mhm.
because not only do we need to be thinking about like how this is related to I lost my train of thought. Dang it.
Oh
Uh,
no, this is why ADHDers interrupt, because it goes away quick. It goes
it's
away
gone.
quick.
It's gone. Okay, keep going. Dang
Well,
it.
so where was I was talking about, like, because usually if I backtrack a little, she'll get back what she was saying. So, like, the pressure, the patriarchy, not
Oh,
wanting to.
right. Yeah, I got it. Thank you. I think that a lot of times women don't even know how their bodies work.
Mhm.
And they have like there's the people pleasing part of it where it's that you want your person to feel you're trying to like let them feel like they did a good job. You're more concerned about their feelings and them feeling they did a good job than you actually getting pleasure.
Mhm. Which is
And
nobody. It's not good for anybody. Like,
not good for anybody. And like it makes the problem be that men don't actually know what they're doing right or wrong if every single time the woman it's my thing about if you don't ever get a no, you can't trust the yes.
yeah,
And that is true for people across the board.
it's so
And
true.
like if you are always telling the person that what they're doing is pleasing you, then they don't know what they're doing that's not pleasing you.
Mhm.
And so, and if you aren't open enough to saying yes, this, and no, that, and what you actually like, then what's the point?
Yeah, what's the point?
What's the point? Which is the reason why so many women are just like meh about sex. We're
Which
supposed
is
to
like,
like it.
and some
Eh.
people, I will say, like, I think, okay, because I'm on the asexual spectrum, I understand, like, but I think we're like 3% of the population. So when people tell me they don't enjoy sex, I immediately go put my, like, intimacy coach hat on, and I'm like, you're just not having the right sex. Like, sex is so good. Like, you can have really good sex and it can just keep getting better. Like, I think part of my purpose on this planet is to help people have more
Same,
orgasms and,
same,
like, pleasure. Because I
same.
do think it's like, okay, I decenter men and I also decenter orgasms a little bit, because when you're not focused, you're putting all that pressure to get to the O, it actually makes it more difficult, I think, for both parties. Like there's a
Mhm.
lot of pressure on men to perform, to provide
Yes.
this thing, but that information, by the way, is coming from men. Like men, if you're listening, do not listen to other men about female pleasure. Like that just doesn't make sense, right? Like women want sensuality, they want the full experience. Like it is a long game for women. So when you definitely read She Comes First, but like essentially it does center that like, oh, the woman should come first. And then you can get on to the other stuff. But that's not a quick thing for women. Like the fun and exploration around getting to that goal is what the focus should be on. And then it makes it easier, right? Well,
I
people
know,
have so
right?
many
That's the
blockers.
fun part. So people, I think, get lost in the functionality of sex.
Hmm.
And so I'm a sensual blueprint.
Yeah, I'm sensual as
So,
well.
like I want all the feels and the talks and the things and the what do I like for sensual? Does that mean, rough a little with soft? Does it mean, this is a like I think Love and Goop does a good job of going
Yeah,
through a lot of
love,
stuff.
sex, and we're
Love,
going to
sex,
talk about that, I think, in our next episode, like getting into like the nitty gritty of the
and
stuff. But in preparation, go take the sexual blueprint quiz for Love, Sex, and Goop. Just do the free one. You do have to give your email. It's annoying, but there are 5 blueprint types. And I think that's a really good space for you to understand kind of your needs. And also, if you are partnered, having them take it, and then, of course, discussing. But yeah, I think women are just more generally, you can engage, you should be engaging all 5 senses, even if it's not your primary blueprint. Um, and removing the expectation of that type of performance. It should be about fun. It should be about pleasure. And it should be about consent and openness and safety. When you
should
can
be
create,
fun.
it should be fun. Like, and safety is
Both
fun.
having
Communication is
a
fun.
good time. And
Yeah.
and men and women both. Hear me now. The more fun your woman has in bed, the more she's going to want to be in bed with you. If
Yeah.
she's not wanting to be in bed with you, I hate to break it to you, but 9 times out of 10 is because she's not having any fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Cause
know, and
I'm a Capricorn. It's like I work hard and play hard, but like when I'm having like I have a balance issue. Like I can be in the bedroom for like 16 hours and not have any issue with that. Like I can just be served up orgasm after orgasm or after orgasm. And that's the expectation I set in my relationships because it benefits them too. Like believe if you're a man and you're listening to this, prioritizing the female pleasure is to your direct benefit. You can do it for selfish reasons. I don't care. But, and women, like, it's just, you have to explore what you need, express what you need. And it's not as scary. Like, when you create that, like, going back to last episode, like, when you create that foundation of communication, I've realized that this is what truly brings me joy. Or I actually want to
yeah,
explore this a little bit more. Make it something like a joint exploration, make it fun. Like we told you about Mojo Upgrade, we told you about the BDSM quiz, the erotic blueprint
yep,
quiz. um have it be something that you're doing together as like a challenge of bodily pleasure exploration, like figuring out what really brings you joy. And that evolves. Like I told the hot chocolate guy, I was like, make an account because you don't know what you want, you don't know what you like. And when you take this quiz first, there's a lot of stuff that you're like, and there's a lot of preconceived notions. You get your results. And then maybe 4 months down the line, you take it again and your results change, right? Like, and this guy had like massive, I'm like, bro, you're made for the kink space. Like, just gonna say that your results.
I love that, and the fact that I think everybody needs to understand that every single human body is different.
Yeah.
So,
And mind.
in mind. And the taking the time to know your body
Hmm.
and to know your partner's body and to both be interested in doing things that the other one really enjoys instead of this performative thing. When you take the performance out of it, then you actually get real pleasure.
Yeah. Well, I guess that leads us into kind of what we want to talk about next, which is like,
Yeah.
um, oh, well, before, so Melissa was like, so how do you
Yeah.
stop faking it? We didn't touch on that. So if you've
We
been
are
in a
so
relationship,
we are so ADHD today.
we are. If you've been
All
in
of
a relationship, like, and you've, like, literally, I've talked to women and they're like, I've been in a relationship for like years and I've never, one of my best friends, she's had one, before her current partner, she had one partner orgasm in her life, and she was in several long-term relationships. When I heard this, I almost died. I was like, what are you talking about right now? What are you talking about right now? Like, I'm over here just having really good sex when I'm in a sexual moment. I didn't really understand just how bad it is out there. I'm like, because my very first boyfriend, like in high school, which by the way, think he's autistic, we started exploring, like, I mean, I never had bad sex. Like I've had bad sex, but with people that I keep in my life as a relationship, like that is a huge priority for me. Anyway, how do you stop it? So like, I think it is about, you can use these tests as a crutch to like start introducing conversations. That's one way. A second way is just being super, like, having it not be a heightened moment, having it, you could do, I don't know, like I'll say like what I think. Like, I like
Mhm.
to remove sensitive conversations from places that could be traumatic down the line. So I don't like having conversations about flaws or issues or improvement as a start in the bedroom, because what is said in the bedroom can have far reaching impact on your life for like ever. Like, women have experienced this. A partner said one thing once and they take that into every relationship. So if
Yeah.
it's more sensitive, I like clothes on. I like clothes on. I've also had experiences where I've had more sensitive conversations in the bedroom with a partner. And I've learned from this that like, that can make it really difficult for the male to, like, they're already so vulnerable there, to get it up for like 6 months. And it's just like, oh man, we gotta work on
So
this. So I
so
like clothes on.
so let me approach this in a different way. I don't know that there needs so confrontation, I think, is a problem for so many people. And feeling like I think so many, especially women, feel like anything that feels like confrontation,
Is scary. But
you
this
know,
isn't
is
confrontation. It's communication. It's
right. But
it's
let me keep going. So if you have that feeling of like, oh, am I about to, like the actual, like, oh, I'm about to just be like, oh yeah, I don't want to hurt this guy's feelings. Let's just get this over with. He tried really hard. It was fun.
like Miranda and Steve.
Yes, that's such a good example. And I think that that is common. I think it is every day. And I think that especially in long-term relationships, which I've been in several, you have different things that affect
Mhm.
your life in different eras. And so can I say that 100%, you know, would disagree that never ever should you be faking an orgasm? I say let's give people some grace.
No,
Two,
I 100%, I disagree. 100%, I say
we're not
never
letting you
fake an
finish
orgasm.
because you're jumping in on top of me on
I'm
something that you don't
sorry.
even know where I'm going.
You said you would say you sometimes you wouldn't fake, you would be okay with faking
I
an orgasm.
say, I say that if I had to say 100%, what I say 100% of the times, so everybody, every time, all the times, no matter what, should never fake an orgasm. I can't say that because I think that from a perspective of a 10-year plus relationship with someone that you love and adore and have the best things in their world, going on and they are just trying their damnedest. I have been in that situation where I'm like, oh my God, baby, that was great.
Yeah, but that's not saying you came. You can say that was great and it doesn't
Well,
you I say like
okay.
this. I say this. No, I didn't come, but I had a good time. Like that's for
See,
me
that's
it's
it.
like
Okay, so I don't know that everybody in the world actually says every single time they orgasm or don't orgasm, I came. And I don't think that everybody in the world also asks the question. I think it's actually weird at this point in my life for somebody to say, "Did you come?"
I get I get that question all the time. But on the newer side of
Yeah.
relationships, right? Like um
And if I so like I think that probably leaning into um what happens when you don't come? Do you say, uh, "Hey babe, that was so much fun. I'm so close. Can we grab a toy?"
mhm.
Right? So it's less about like, how do you stop the I'm not going to do it? How about what do we do when?
If
Because
you want to, because
if
sometimes,
you
right, you don't
absolutely, well, that's, I mean, absolutely. I mean, you can stop anytime you want.
mhm.
And, but you're into it. It's, like you are having a great time, you know? And that's the perfect time to say, "Oh, this was great, and let's move into this other thing,"
Mhm.
and or if you don't have a partner that's into that, you're like, okay, you get your own stuff and you move into your own world and you finish pleasuring yourself in a way that feels good to you
Yeah,
and ensures your personal sexual pleasure because your partner might think that's hot and sexy and turns them on too,
fair.
you
I mean,
know?
I saw something yesterday. I saw a meme yesterday that said like men who are afraid of women's toys, like why are you hating on your sous chef? Like they they can like toys can enhance the bedroom
Toys
so
make
much,
everything
which
better.
we'll talk about in the next episode because that's a whole thing. But yes, I agree. Like I think well, one for me, it's like decentering the orgasm in a way that's like removing the pressure. So if you do have a partner that is asking, like, did you come? Did you come? Did you come, babe? Are you coming? Are you close? Like then I think that you can approach it like, I didn't, but I don't actually want to today. Like I don't need to reach that milestone today. I'm
So
good.
this goes
Or
back
hold on, Chris, we
to
are
communication.
not we are not
Sorry.
okay. So I'm losing my train of thought too.
Okay.
Um
I know.
yeah, so um go ahead.
I don't know where I was going.
Uh, okay, so you can either say I had a good time. I don't actually need to move forward with this. I'm good. Um, or you can do what Chris said and say like, can we get a toy out? Or can you do this? Like, can we try this? Like communicating do more of that. Keep going. Don't stop that. And I think sometimes you can use the red light, green light, yellow, like whatever system. You can create communication in the bedroom that works for you. To continue, like I think sometimes, like oh man, for women, it's like you gotta have some consistency sometimes. Oh, don't switch up. We were so close, right? So you can do that. Or you can, this is the thought that I forgot. So maybe I'll come back to that. But yeah, we're an interesting breed today. So you can continue to the orgasm or you don't have to.
It's happening. They're getting the real us.
Yeah, you can continue to the orgasm or you don't have to, but I think it's communication that's necessary, expressing your needs, and also saying it's okay. Like, oh, I wanted to talk about what happens if you have a partner that maybe you're engaging in sex and they always come first and then they're kind of done. Like I think men, it's like I don't like when my partners do not come. And I think if you have a partner that comes quickly and then isn't kind of interested in continuing, first of all, have them look into edging. Um, have them look into edging, have them research it, create a fun, like kind of dynamic where it's like, I want you to maybe go watch porn and get close, but never come. And like they can work on edging themselves and it's actually makes sex so great for them. So that's something for the men. But I think like that has to be a community, like even if they do come, like stuff happens, they come quickly, whatever, then there needs to be some training of like, all right, you have your hands, you have your mouth, we have toys, we have trinkets, like we're getting me off in a different way if you want to come. But I think it's important to prioritize your orgasm and say that you want it if you want it and help get there in whatever way. If they've come, that's fine. You're owed. Like you're owed an orgasm, like if you want one, right? And so Melissa asked, like, do you prioritize the female orgasm over the man's? Absolutely. I do. And I don't care how controversial that is because men have a different experience with orgasms. And I do think that's like a whole different conversation where the male orgasm can be so much more than what men experience. There can be full body energetic orgasms for men. There can be orgasms that don't include ejaculation. Like there's a whole exploration there.
Mm-hmm.
But I prioritize the female orgasm over the man's because in the end, when women come, sex is better. It's better for everyone. It makes it more fun. It makes it more thorough. And I don't know, when I come, I'm ready to, I'm a different person once I come. So it's to your benefit to get that side, to get me to the other side. Right.
Well, and so this is a perfect place to kind of move into topic 2, which is knowing your body and knowing like, I'm a more pleasant person and more open and more all of these things after I've come. Well, if you and your partner also both know that the way your body works and you get the best orgasms is when your clitoris is stimulated and you have a clitoral orgasm, you then move into having a internal vaginal orgasm that's a G-spot orgasm. And it takes that's around 10 minutes to 20 minutes usually to
Depending.
get in, depending on your body. But
Yeah.
the average,
Yeah.
the average,
Yeah, the average is like 10 minutes for a woman, but I also say it's
right?
that's what's the buildup, right? Like your day
It's
can be
well,
foreplay.
so that's the thing is like if I were going to give somebody an average, really enjoyable sex blueprint, here's what it would look like. Stimulation, complete vulva.
Yeah. Like
Right?
Google the clitoris and see how big it is and work for that entire thing, not just a little pea. That's not the it's not a pea
So
size
entire
situation.
vulva, right? We start
Mhm.
entire vulva. We work towards the clitoris. We stimulate the clitoris around the clitoris. Then you start moving into once you have a clitoris and internal G spot, stimulation happening, which you then should start to have what feels like a clitoral orgasm. So your internal parts of your vagina that house your G spot, that is the place where your body naturally says, now I'm ready to accept pleasure here.
Mm. Mhm.
And you can feel as a woman, if you know how to pleasure yourself with your hand, with your toys, with whatever makes you feel good, you can start to learn what your body feels like at all those different stages. And I say this because if I'm, talking about a vagina, clitoris, and you're working to take care of yourself and give yourself pleasure, you're thinking clitoris, G spot, which means this motion,
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
right?
Mhm. Mhm.
And then you're
Yeah,
going,
the come hither.
right? The come
The
hither,
Bridgerton
no,
moment.
this. We want this.
Yeah.
Then we go towards cervical stimulation. But really what it means is that your partner, if you're a female, can have a clitoral orgasm, a G-spot orgasm, which is next. Sometimes they can happen together, which is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And puts you in a place of squirting, female
Oh my God.
ejaculation. That's what you get with that.
It's happened to
And
me
then
like twice, and I was like, or now it's happened more. It happens more, but I was like, the fuck is going on here? What it like? I know someone who's like an avid squirter, but I just kind of heard about it, and oh my God, I was just like, I don't know about this, like, but oof, oof,
and that but that is what your body does.
yeah.
And it's really smart. Like it's really smart, the female ejaculation, because what it does is it cleanses, like all that stuff out, you
No
know.
UTI, squirt, no UTI. No, I'm just kidding.
Then we
Um,
have, so like, but like your body changes and things swell and move, and like your cervix and all of the things that's your cervix is that little nub shaped thing that you can feel once you get a little bit back further into the vagina. Um, and that will start to move closer to the opening of the vagina. And all that tissue, once it swells and gets all hot and delicious and, you know, right? That's the good stuff. Because if your partner is experiencing that, your partner is experiencing wonderful care and sensual pleasure, and the pace and the pressure and the all of that is dictated by your communication with your partner as to what you want, and you feel good.
yeah,
um
and it can
and
change every time.
can
Like
change every time.
this is a topic though that Chris and I have a little bit of a different perspective because I'm not actually like a massive masturbator. Um, like I'm on the asexual spectrum, and I always had trouble with the like if you can't make yourself come, then no one else is gonna be able to. Um, for me, like I never like when I call it deactivated or versus activated. Like I'm basically asexual until I'm not. Like and as a demisexual. So like I don't really think about sex. I had to, but I know that so orgasms are healthy. Like they're healthy
They
for
are healthy.
you. They're healthy for your mental health. So like exploring your body is super important. But for me, I always felt like oh my gosh, like I just never think about it. So I got an app actually at one point. It's called Furly, Ferly, and it gives you pleasure reminders like, hey, it might be time to pleasure yourself. And that was like I'm also demand avoidant. So like, it is what it is. But it was nice to remind myself because it's not even on my mind, right? But where I really fell into kind of like figuring out my own pleasure and like my sexual power is was I, is reworking what sexy means. Like I never thought that was an adjective for me. Like I thought, she's, I'm pretty, I'm beautiful, I'm funny, I'm quirky, I'm like, but I'm not sexy. I'm not hot. And I actually had a guy friend kind of explain like, it's like, no, everybody can be like you're sexy. Like, and I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah, like it's not like anyway, his perspective was actually pretty interesting to me, but I had to figure that out for myself, like what makes me feel sexy, and how that then allows me to feel safe within partnered relationships or on my own
Yeah.
to really figure out what I want. I think that sexual power for a woman is connected to every single part of their life. And I think that's something we'll talk about in a different episode. But for me, I had to feel like sexy was an adjective. And then really kickstart my pleasure exploration, like actually what gets me going, what makes me happy with a safe partner that I could really let loose with. And that's when I figured out my stuff around control. I really like restraints and like there's so many things that can open up your sex life depending on your blockers. So, like I think it is going like understanding your blockers, understanding your past traumas, understanding your body, but I think that doesn't always mean through masturbation or whatever. And like Chris mentioned, like when I was trying to figure out if sexy was my adjective, like I got into lingerie for me, really. Like, um, and like you can take cute selfies, and I've never sent a nude, but you can take spicy selfies and you can get into it, and they don't have to be for anybody. They can just be for you to like
Absolutely.
lean into loving your body, lean into loving your sexuality and knowing that it's like okay to be sexual. Like women, there's so much stigma around, slut shaming and like whatever. It's like, no, I am an extremely sexual being. Like that is strategic. The patriarchy strategically wants us to not be this way. Um, I am a sexual being. I prioritize it. It is an adjective that I use now, but that was not the case even, 4 years ago. It's an evolution that everybody can, um, get through. And then, yeah, my sex life has always been great with trusted partners, but I needed that, to what Chris was saying. I really needed to tap into it outside of a person. Like I am sexy just here, existing without a man, without a partner, without sex with a person. I am a sexy ass bitch, like, and I needed to be comfortable with that.
Yeah, I love that that is where you are, because I've been a self-love girly kind of first my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you had mentioned power, it's really a powerful feeling to feel, in your own body for yourself. Um, and I think I have mentioned this story before, but I can't remember if I mentioned it in this on our podcast. But like I, the gift of the library. I grew up with a mom who could drop me off at the library and go to the grocery store and come back and pick me up, and I would have a stack of books. And
Okay.
I wound up with a stack of books that were like the smuttiest, books that you could find in the library. And I was probably about, like 10.
Oh no, we're like giving the conservatives ammo to ban books.
All right. And, to be fair, this was, I was probably 1980, and
Mhm.
where you could still drop your kid off at the library, unattended. And so the librarian, when my mom came to pick me up and I put the stack of books on the library counter, the librarian looks at my mom and she goes, "These aren't from the kids section." She's like, "Are you going to read them?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And so she's like, "She can get whatever she wants if she's going to read it." And so I then became the sex knowledge queen of the sixth grade or whatever, because I had been reading all these smutty books, you know.
You're the girl on the bus. You're the girl on the bus that told me what a blowjob was in seventh grade, I guess. Like, oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
And when my mom realized I, was interested in my sexuality, she did not have a conversation with me, but a stack of books about sexuality and your body and what to know appeared in my room.
Yeah.
So she didn't have to have that conversation. And so like I have been knowledgeable about my body, and have and I think my mom probably felt like she needed to protect me in some ways, because I was very I had a breast reduction a few years ago because I was a 36H cup, and I am now not.
Yeah.
And but like I've been sexualized from the time that I was 12 or something, overly sexualized. And I think that being in a space where I was in control of my body instead of
Powerful.
letting men, I think that gave me a lot of power,
Yeah.
and protected me in a lot of ways, because like my girlfriends who I'm like, "You're having sex on the beach on a catamaran? Okay, we need to have some conversations." So I think owning your own body and exploring what feels good to you, and then you are also not reliant upon a partner to be giving you sexual pleasure.
Right.
I romance myself, and I think everybody should.
Yeah. I
And,
agree with that.
you know,
Or um I so I actually use remote toys
yep,
now. And there are people that you can connect with anywhere that you can build a kind of relationship with if you
yep,
want, or because I need more. I have one guy in Finland. He sends me toys, and we've been talking for February, like 8 months, 9 months, I don't know, 10 months. And he's married and he has kids, and his wife isn't in a sexual. She's about to enter like a sexual exploration, I think, of her own, and their marriage is going to evolve, which I love hearing. Like, this guy loves his wife, loves his daughters, but
yes.
the way their relationship has evolved is that he's a highly sexual being, and he goes on this app, and like, he wasn't like all the creepy. There's a lot of creepy people out there. Anyway, he wasn't like that. So we've been talking for a long time, and he really respects me, and he gives me remote orgasms, and that means that I don't make kind of, because I still don't, it's not natural, it's not as natural for me to masturbate or pursue pleasure on my own. So it's nice to be nudged and reminded by a more dominant fellow that is also extremely wonderful. There's so much. I think we'll talk about maybe sexual compatibility and stuff in the next one, but I think
And
there's
that still gives
actually,
you connection.
yeah.
Yes, that's one of the things that I really love about that is that, you know, if you look for connection, there's connection to be found.
And there's like lots of interesting ways for that. I think removing the shame, we've kind of been talking around shame a little bit, but like removing the shame of self exploration, removing the shame of kink exploration, removing the
Yep.
shame of self romance dating, removing the shame of wearing the thing that makes you feel super hot, um, and like exploring yourself through all types of, even like food is sensual, dance, like there's so many things that can help you tap into your body and like feel safe in your body. And I
Yep.
think that's where we both fully align. You have to feel safe and confident in your body. And I'm a body neutrality. I'm not saying like you have to love the way your body looks all the fucking time. Like, no, but I think that you have to not hate your body. I think you have to love yourself and love your body to be able to truly have the most mind blowing pleasure experiences, both self and partnered.
Yeah.
And it just keeps getting better, like,
Yeah.
period.
I agree with that. 100 billion trillion %.
Yeah.
I think that a lot of times when you do find a partner that this is a nice thing about, being with a partnered, when I have been in the past, is that if you have somebody that you are connected with, as a deep friendship partner or a love partner, or romantic partner, or whatever, that connection of like that other human, that you like them as much as they like you back, and that you get to be appreciative of their body and they get to be appreciative of your body. Both of those things makes the sex better.
So much better.
So much better.
I Last year I went on a date with a couple because I was like doing crazy
Like
stuff last
I
year
just
for
like
research.
I just have to put the caution. I'm sorry. It's like the women who are worried about what they look like when they are having sex, please stop doing that.
Oh my God, yes. Oh my God, yes. Or find positions that you are less self conscious with until, I think, like men, if there is a man listening, verbalizing your raw desire for a woman when she is in her most vulnerable state, which is for a lot of women naked,
Mm.
is like the hottest thing. Like, I love to feel, I've been lucky to be with a lot of men who have made me feel just like the most scrumptious snack
Yes.
in all the land. And it's like, I mean, I don't know. I never believed it really. Like, it took me, like, this has always been my, like, cause I have, the only time I can really orgasm or have good sex is with someone that I've actually built a sexual attraction to, which comes secondary to an emotional connection or a deeper bond. Um, they have always, my 18-year fling, I mean, I was super uncomfortable with my tiny boobies and I didn't want to take my bra off. Like, for a long time. Like we had sex for years and he was so good about that. And then like fast forward, I had said something like, I think I might get a boob job. And he's like, absolutely not. I mean, do what you want, but like, why? Like, he's like, I love your boobs. Like, and I'm like, what? And I'm like, I had to learn to love my boobs. Like, all boobs look different and whatever. But like, that was like such a lovely moment where it's like, and I have a friend, like she's super self-conscious about her belly, and she was laying next to her partner, and she had an ex-partner who said something super gross to her about her belly. She's like a tiny girl. She doesn't really have a belly. Like I got a belly, but everybody's got a belly. It's an uncomfortable spot for her and a self-conscious thing. And she's laying next to her partner, and she said something like, what's your favorite thing about me? And she was talking about general, but
Mm-hmm.
they're naked. And so this man goes to like physical attributes, and he's like, I love your tummy. Like I love the space between here. It's like so cute. And this girl, she like died. She's like, oh my God, like
Yeah.
you don't even understand what that comment means to me. It erased all of this like super traumatic thing about her body. It's like, men just, and women, like women do, like men don't receive a lot of compliments in life. But I think it's less about like they hold on to compliments differently than women. But
And
yeah,
criticisms.
yeah,
And
yes,
criticisms.
yes, yes. Um, all right. So what are we at timing wise? Melissa, keep us on track. We're okay. Well, I mean, I think we've kind of touched on the last thing of just like it's all about communication, asking for what you want. Um, you know, we that how can I bring up what I want in bed without feeling awkward or selfish? Like open communication and real intimacy shouldn't feel awkward. And I think when you really step into that power, when you explore what you need, when you create that fun environment, when you create that safe space, that foundation, then it doesn't be like you have to take the leap. Like you have to take the baby steps, and that can look different for everybody. But like you should never feel embarrassed to ask for what you want or what you need. Um, and I think it's important to reframe it from being like demanding or
Mm-hmm.
a pain to you're not being demanding, you're being honest, and honesty is respectful, honesty is kind. Um, and that's what every relationship needs: honesty, respect, authenticity, and healthy communication with one another. And that impacts all areas of intimacy, whether that be sexual, emotional, romantic, like full win when you connect on that level. So
You know, you have a healthy, happy partnership when when both of your goals are to please the other partner
without losing yourself.
without losing yourself,
Yeah.
because that, you know, again, another plus for, single girl sex is that you only have yourself to please. But if you are choosing to be with somebody that you like enough to have sex with, then you can have amazing, like sex with a partner that is connected, intimate, romantic, loving, or whatever kind of sex you want to have sex. That can be some of the most amazing times of your life
Yep.
because it's about intimacy and connection with another person in the most truest fashion.
So Melissa asked, what if in the end of it all, the communication, all you're learning about yourself, you're still sexually incompatible with your partner? Is it time to move on? And I think that's a really good question to start next episode off on, because there's so much nuance around sexual
That is,
compatibility, and some of it is workable and
yes.
some of it really isn't. And I think being honest about that for yourself and for your partner, I think is a kindness, but it's a massive, massive conversation about what is workable, what should be workable, what should be tried. So we'll put some thought to that.
Mm,
And so like today we covered, the importance of being authentic in the bedroom, exploring your own pleasure, and the importance of communicating your sexual desires openly and safely. I think next week we'll talk about sexual compatibility, what happens when it's not really the same, whether that's like frequency, desires, kinks, maybe a little bit about what we talked about earlier about how sexual power can really translate and into other areas of your life and impact, you know, your work and your friendships and how you see yourself in this world and what you're able to accomplish. It's for women, I think it's the secret weapon, and that's why it's been shamed by the patriarchy for so long. But yeah, is there anything else we want to
Speak the
say
truth,
before
my
we?
friend. You speak the truth.
Yeah. All right. Well, make sure you subscribe and follow us on social media. And please do send us your questions. We do like to answer them. And I think I'm hangry, so I'm gonna go find some food. I think my brain would work better with a little snacky snack
Oh yeah, I
before.
think probably both of us need to do the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I love you, friend. Always good
Thanks
talking
for
about the spicy.
being my ADHD podcast partner. I love you.
I love you too.
Bye.
Okay, bye.